All right, Catherine, you may begin.
I'm doing the Opium War, and this is pictures of opiate addicts in China. The Opium War, there were actually two Opium Wars, but the first one lasted from 1839 to 1842, and it was between Britain, and the cause of the war was because China was trying to resist the British free trade laws and demands that they practiced. And Britain India made the opium, and Britain would get it from India and they ship it to Britain, and Britain would trade it with China. But the Chinese government said that they had too many addicts that were becoming, and it was hurting China's economy, so China wanted to ban the opium, and Britain said no because they said it was against the British free trade laws. And when China tried to resist British, when China tried to resist Britain's opium trade, Britain said no, and then China came in and they took a ship that was filled with opium from Britain, and that was like the spark of when the war started because the British brought their navy in the city of Canton where the ship was taken, and occupied the areas around it and said, if you don't give us our opium back, we will take over China and try and get it back from you. And this was a picture of when China stole the opium from the city of Canton, and British brought their naval fleet in to try and get the opium back. And China was very weak compared to Britain because they did not have the steam powered ships and all the other advanced weapons that Britain had. So they didn't know what to do because the Chinese government wanted to stop the importing of opium, but they couldn't because China wasn't letting them. So eventually Britain started to take over so many cities surrounding the city of China that they were forced to cave into Britain's Treaty of Nanking, which stated that Britain was granted the right to trade into China again and had their free trade laws, and the Chinese government couldn't do anything about it because they didn't have the modern technology or anything that Britain had. And this is pictures on this slide of what the Chinese addicts, that's why they wanted to stop the opium, because it was taking over all of the citizens and they had way too many addicts, and it was hurting their economy because they were trading from outside foreign sources. And that was also the cause of this war, as I already said. That's what opium looks like. It's kind of like a flower that you produce into like a drug. And then this was right here. That's the city of Canton where it all started. And when China stole the opium from Canton, British went in, they took over all the surrounding cities of Canton. And that's why China was forced to cave into their laws. And then the result from the treaty, it granted Britain a lot more laws, and they had a lot more power because it gave them complete control over the trading right. And it said after Britain got all their free law from China, America and France also came in, and they said, well, if Britain gets such free rights, we should get them too. And that was also a result of the treaty and a result of the war. And also, the first Opium War was also known as the Anglo-Chinese War, and there was a second Opium War, which was the result of China also not following the rules, because then it was called the Arab War.